Okay, so welcome back, and now we're going to start talking about pyramids and what we call frustums, or frustums of pyramids. So what is a pyramid? The definition of a pyramid, again, just make sure you write this down. The definition of a pyramid is anything that has what? At least 3 lateral faces, a base, right? At least 3 lateral faces and a base, and the lateral faces will taper to a single point called an apex. Okay, that's what we call a pyramid. Okay, so for example, these are examples of pyramids. So now this here is the base, right? This here is the base. Notice that this base is rectangular and this base is triangular. Okay? So the base can be pretty much any geometric shape, with 3 or more sides, right? So it could be a triangle, a square, a rectangle, a polygon. Well, that's redundant, but a regular polygon, like for example an octagon, or it could be an irregular polygon. Okay, so this is the base, and then this would be one of the faces, right? So this would be a lateral face, right? Okay, so in this case here we have 4 lateral faces, and in this case here we have 3 lateral faces. Notice that they both taper, all the lateral faces taper to a point. Okay, and this point is called the apex. Okay, and the apex just means the very top point of a structure. Okay, so the apex of a roof, right? The apex of the roof is the top of the roof, where the 2 halves of the roof meet. Okay, so that's called the apex. Now, a right pyramid is a pyramid in which the base is a regular polygon. Okay, that's what we call a right pyramid. Okay, for example, if the base here was a square, this would be considered a right rectangular pyramid or a square pyramid. Okay, this one here, if we had an equilateral triangle for the base, then that would be a right pyramid. Okay? Now the altitude. The altitude is the height of the pyramid. And the altitude is the perpendicular line that goes from the apex all the way down to the base, right? So again, my picture notwithstanding, but if you draw a perpendicular line to the base, from the apex, perpendicular to the base, that measurement, this altitude, is also the height of the pyramid. Okay, now, if we measure from the apex, if we take a perpendicular line along the face, so if we take a perpendicular line along the face, perpendicular to the edge, then this is called the slant height. Okay, so there's a difference. In other words, in this case, it's the height of the triangle that's formed as one of the faces. Okay? But it's the perpendicular line that goes from the apex to the edge of the base of that face, lateral face. Okay? And the altitude is the perpendicular line that goes from the apex down to the base. Okay? Now, the other thing too is that for a right pyramid, not only does the base have to be a regular polygon, but the apex has to be centered directly over the base. Okay, so the apex has to be directly over the center of the base. Okay, so those are the two conditions. To be a right pyramid, you have to have a regular polygon as a base, and the apex of the pyramid has to be directly over the center of the base. Okay, and that's it. So let me see. Is there anything else I want to mention here that I haven't already mentioned? Okay. Okay, the other thing is, by the way, a triangular, if we have a triangular pyramid, this is also called a tetrahedron. This shape actually comes up quite a bit in chemistry when you look at lattice structures of molecules and things like that. Okay, for looking at the stability of a molecule. You'll look at shapes like that. So a tetrahedron comes up quite a bit. So anyway, that's it. We'll come back and we'll start to talk about formulas for different things about pyramids. Oh, and also in this video series, we're only going to be talking about right pyramids. Okay, that's it.